told it to these kids 3 times. Yeah, but then he said we did do something temporary or something, I don't know. What? No. Okay, ready? No, we're still another minute early.
She signed in accidentally for the nanny. She's going to just speak after we do.
Oh, okay. That sun is awful bright. Jeez. Can I start? Yikes. That sun is like, there must have been a tree blocking it or something before. Because now it's like, look, I can't even see. I guess I'm going to have to come in with sunglasses. Okay. Okay, welcome everybody to the Town of Orangetown Town Board meeting of May 10th, 2022. On a roll call.
Councilman Tom Dibny. Councilman Paul Valentine. Here. Councilman Jerry Vittori.
Here.
Councilman Brian Donovan.
Here.
Supervisor Teresa Kent.
Here. And we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, you would be louder than the girls, that's all.
Okay, so we have a couple of announcements. We have some public hearings being held on May 24th. One is an amendment to the town code to address zoning in the hamlet of South Nyack, kind of merging our town laws. So South Nyack's more in line with Orangetown. A proposed zone change for property on Gatto Lane in the hamlet of Pearl River. This weekend, we have the Town of Orangetown Highway Department be hosting their 26th annual open house on Saturday, May 14th from 10 until 12 at the Highway Maintenance Facility in Orangeburg. We're hosting our, I guess our 3rd annual Hungers 5K Heroes Run, Saturday, May 14th at 10 a.m. So you should come down, run, and then jump in your car and zip up to the Highway Department. And that's to benefit Orangetown Food Pantries. So it's down on the rail trail starting in Depot Square. Just want to let everyone know there was supposed to be a presentation on June 14th regarding the reuse of the former Chase Bank property on Main Street in Spark Hill. That's being postponed at the request of the presenters. So we'll no further date at this time. And then 2022, we have Orangetown Memorial Day events. We have them on our website. There was a lot, so to list them all here. So if you go to our town website at orangetown.com, you can see where all the different Memorial Day events are going to be. So we have a couple of presentations, actually more than usual, but we're going to start with the Proclamation for Building Safety Month. Is Jane here? Oh, no certificate for Jane. We'll have to come back to her, or not. Okay, Proclamation for Mental Health Awareness Month. Is Sandra Wolf here? Okay, and I know we also have Rena Finkelstein here. Do you ladies want to come up to the, if you want to say a couple of things? And they're, these are from, okay.
I want to thank you. Good evening to Supervisor Kenny and all of the council people. We're pleased to be here tonight. NAMI Rockland is an organization that provides advocacy, education, and support. And we also support research for people who are impacted by mental illness all throughout Rockland County. And I'll just say few words about, this is Mental Health Awareness Month. And in honor of this month and to spread the word about mental illness, we have a variety of programs that are taking place all throughout the month. The first one is going to be this coming Wednesday. I'll just mention the first one, which is we're having Dr. Russell Toby, who's from Nathan Klein Institute, which is right in our backyard here, and he's doing a presentation all about research in brain, in brain research. I'll just mention the next one because it's an opportunity which is May 19th, and it's an opportunity to learn from the people who are living with mental illness all about their journeys, their struggles from mental illness to mental wellness. I'll turn it over to Sandy.
Thank you.
So you may know that our offices are right here in Orangeburg, so we have particular connection with all of you. And that in the folder that we passed out, we talked about one of the projects that we advocated for this year. And I know this isn't necessarily on your agendas, but at Children's Hospital, which is over in Pomona, they now have only 15 beds available. And there's such a need for more beds for children and for especially Rockland children. When someone goes to the ER and they're, excuse me, they're in the ER and they're waiting for placement in a hospital someplace, instead of them calling Rockland Children's, the children stay in pods in the emergency room for between 6 and 10 days before they're placed. And while they're in the hospital, they're not treated in any way because they're not patients of the hospital. So they're just in the pods, and when precious time for early intervention could be taking place, the children just stay there. So we've been trying to advocate for that with our congressman, and I put in the letter in the packet that we sent to them. And also, oh, this is good. Can't talk and breathe. So this year, one of the things that we're really focusing on is also post-traumatic stress syndrome. All of us have been experiencing trauma as a result of COVID. And out of, we're seeing an exponential rate increase in cases of anxiety and depression, suicide, and substance use. So I just found these details, and I thought this was sort of amazing. A UCLA study said that there are 224 million Americans who have experienced this trauma, and of that number, 20%, 44 million people, will develop post-traumatic stress disorder. And in Rockland County, extrapolating down, there are 326,323 people as of 2021 population. And that would mean that 65,265 people in Rockland may develop post-traumatic stress syndrome. And because there's such stigma attached with going for help for mental illness and different conditions, many people will remain untreated for, they've done research, up to 10 years before they actually go for help. Wow. So part of our awareness campaign is to bring this to the citizens of Rockland County and to all the businesses and everything else. And the last thing is, I know some of you may have heard about the 988 suicide number that's coming to Rockland County. Well, it's coming to the whole United States, but it's a new emergency number. I think the phone companies knew about it before the town halls and the police departments and everyone else, because you had to suddenly begin to use your area code if you hadn't before, and that's the reason, so that this becomes a national number and no area code is needed. So that's going to be coming to Rockland County, and we really feel that not enough people know about that happening. And there's also a lot of talk about another emergency line called 311. I think if you listen to Ed Day's talk, you might have heard him mention that. But that's going to be strictly a Rockland County number for people who may be experiencing an emergency. So just that you know that that's happening, and that the people in Orangeburg will be facing that like everybody else in Rockland County. So thank you. I wanted just to let you know a few of the updated things.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for what you do. I do have a certificate. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'll just read a couple real quick things, just because I think it goes into what you said here. Whereas mental health is essential to the well-being and the vitality of our families, businesses, and communities, and whereas mental health conditions after the COVID pandemic are real and prevalent in our nation, with the prediction that 1 of 3 adults and 1 of 3 children will be affected, and whereas sometimes our biological responses and instincts, which can be life-saving during a crisis, leave children and adults with ongoing psychological symptoms. One of the other things is that post-traumatic stress disorder can occur at any age. The average age of onset's in the early 20s. And as you said, stigma and fear of discrimination keep many who would benefit from trauma-based mental health services from seeking help. There is a need for crisis stabilization center in Rockland County for adults experiencing mental health crisis who seek help at hospital, ERs, remain untreated, and are often faced with the alternative of homeless shelter or being on the street. So whereas every Rockland County business, school, government agency, law enforcement agency, healthcare provider, and citizen shares the responsibility to promote mental health, mental wellness, and support suicide prevention efforts. And in conclusion, therefore, I, Teresa M. Kenny, Supervisor of the Town of Orangetown, do proclaim the month of May 2022 as Mental Health Awareness Month in Orangetown. So I'm going to present you ladies with this certificate, and again, thank you for all that you do. Okay. Okay. Chief, you want to come on in? We have National Police Week, which I think we talked on briefly. Do you want me to read my little thing here? You want to give your little speech there?
You want me to do it?
Yeah,
I can.
go ahead.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Supervisor. I just want to mention that National Police Week this year is May 15th to the 21st. And in 1962, President Kennedy and Congress declared May 15th as National Peace Officers Memorial Day, and all U.S. flags should be flown at half-staff in honor of fallen officers and their families. Since the first recorded law enforcement officer's death in 1786, nearly 25,000 law enforcement officers in the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice, including Orangetown police officers Thomas Kennedy and Michael Reedy on August 2nd, 1973, and Nyack police officer Waverly Brown and Sergeant Edward O'Grady on October 20th, 1981. The names of these officers are also engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C. This year, there are 619 new names of fallen members of service being added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial, including 472 officers killed in 2021 and 147 officers killed in previous years. Thank you, Supervisor and Town Board.
Thank you. I'll just, Chief covered most of it, so I'll just, the last paragraph on this is, therefore be it resolved that the Orangetown Town Board formally designates May 15th through the 21st, 2022 as Police Week in the town of Orangetown, and publicly salutes the service of law enforcement officers in our community and in communities across the nation. So thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much.
Take a picture? You want to take a picture? I think she's taking your picture, whether you want or not, she's taking your picture. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Chief. Okay, Jimmy Dean, you're up next. They should really spread these all out. They shouldn't all be in the same month. They all read them. Oh, Eamon? He has his own, but we could put you guys. We're going to put you all together? That's good. Eamon, Eric, and Jim. Beautiful. We'll get. Well, Jane has her own. She missed it, but we'll get her. She gets building week. They get public works. Okay. Okay, all three of you. These, they all say the same thing? Okay. So, proclamation for National Public Works Weeks, May 15th to the 21st. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and service that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to the public health, high quality of life and well-being of the people of the town of Orangetown. And whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the town of Orangetown to gain knowledge of and to maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities, and resolve that the year 2022 marks the 62nd Annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association, Canadian Public Works Association. Be it now, therefore, I, Supervisor Teresa Kenny, do hereby designate the week of May 15th to the 21st as National Public Works Week in the town of Orangetown. I urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and quality of life. And there they are. Look at them.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we want to say thank you for all the men and women that work and get the job done for Public Works. And we do appreciate this. This is actually, we try to coordinate our open house with Public Works Week, and this is at least the 26th year that we've received this award, so thank you, gentlemen.
You each get one. Come on. Come on, Eric. No running away. I don't know, put names on it, but I think they're all the same, so. Once a year you get this. I don't know. Once a year. Once a year.
Then when we get lunch?
That's right, that's right. Okay, stand, show your certificates. Mr. Riley, come on. Okay. Okay, Jane? I can't read all this thing again. I know, we have to do them for the town attorney's office, too. Okay, so we have a proclamation for Building Safety Month, which is also May 2022. So, real quick, I won't read it all because it's kind of long. Whereas our town is committed to recognizing that our growth and strength depends on the safety and essential role our homes, buildings, and infrastructure play, both in everyday life and when disasters strike. And whereas our confidence in the resilience of these buildings that make up our community is achieved through the devotion of vigilant guardians, building safety and fire prevention officials, architects, engineers, builders, tradespeople, design professionals, laborers, plumbers, and others in the construction industry who work year-round to ensure the safe construction of buildings. And it goes on and on. I'm just going to say I want to thank you and the fire inspectors and the building inspectors and the code enforcement officers for doing what they do every day. So you have any words you want to say?
Just, we're here to help you if anybody has any questions. If you're not sure or something looks unsafe, call us.
Okay, wait, I have to finish. Now therefore, I, Teresa M. Kenny, Orangetown Supervisor, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2022 as Building Safety Month. I encourage the citizens to join us as we participate in Building Safety Month activities. Okay. Oh, you got all dressed for the occasion. Is that why you were late? You went to get your hair done? Okay, so I think we are done. Oh, no, I'm not done. I'm saving the best for last. Okay. Okay, can we get Commander John Antonucci and the members of the Raymond Demiola VFW Memorial Post 1615? Look at this great-looking bunch of men. Yeah.
My presentation will be short and to the point, as always. I'm honored to be here today, Supervisor Kenny, Town Board, but the real honor should go to the 1.3 million GIs that went through Camp Shanks to fight in Normandy Beach, Tunisia, and North Africa, some who never came back. I'm honored to be part of Cam Shank's museum to keep this legacy going. And with that, I want to say thanks to the town of Orangetown for giving me that right. I have nothing else to say, but I hope Cam Shanks remains open forever. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Okay, just a few words about John. John is the commander of our post. He's also a tremendous asset to this community, especially the veterans community. He coordinates all our events. He takes all the heat from the people when they can't come or can't show up. We have probably would have continued with our efforts at Camp Shanks, but unfortunately, our population of membership has dwindled over the years. And in the last, I would say, 3 or 4 years, we've lost about 8 or 10 active duty members. And those members were a big loss to us, but they were a bigger loss to the community because they provide this service. John does a tremendous amount of work behind the scenes. He's the engine that drives our post. Without him, there would be no post. He's a terrific asset to the veterans community, to this community of Orangetown. He accepts all the challenges that are given to him with the limited amount of resources that we have and makes it work. He's a great guy and a better human being. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll read the certificate. We hereby express our sincere appreciation and recognition of your years of service and dedication to the Camp Shanks Museum. We acknowledge your achievements and contributions to the town of Orangetown and its residents.
Thank you, Teresa.
And we have this, which you're gonna give to the post, so we can hang it here. Something there. So thank you, gentlemen, for everything. Thank you.
I know, I'm looking for mailbox.
Okay. Okay. I can give him a second to get out, I guess. Okay, so we're going to workshop, hopefully quickly. Okay, number 3, recognize Stephen Silverberg as a member of the Rockland County Planning Board representing the town of Orangetown for a 4-year term. We basically, the town gets to have someone on the planning board, the county has to accept, so he went through a process and they've accepted Steve Silverberg. Number 4, accept the fund overage in New York State. We got a grant of $5,000 for NYSERDA. We're going to get recycling bins. We have to agree that if it goes over up to $1,500, we will cover the difference. I don't think it's going to, but we will cover it. Number 5, authorizing the redemption prior to maturity of the $605,000 outstanding bonds of the Village of South Nyack. So this is, South Nyack had outstanding bonds. We basically, they're going to pay it off with the money that they had in their separate account. And so this is really doing what we had said we would do from the beginning. So it's paying, South Nyack paying off their bonds with the money from their accounts. Oh, lots of pages. Okay. Number 6 is authorize Lothric Associates to prepare demolition plans for the existing town hall. I think there was emails, I think it was clarified, this money is included already in the money that is being bonded, but we still have to, award it out separately from the rest of the project. Number 7, grant a covenant, hold harmless indemnification agreement with regard to a property at 23 William Street regarding a fence that's in the town's right-of-way. 8, accept a performance bond for the Sandstone subdivision, which is at 483 Kings Highway in Spark Hill. Number 9 is certificate of sewer registrations. 10, approve lend assistance for the Field of Honor for the Volunteer Fire Associate of Tappan and Car Shalene American Legion Post. That's for May 14th. And 11 is approve lend assistance for the Volunteer Fire Associate of Tappan Recruit New York event, which has already happened. Number 12, approve the flexible work schedule for building maintenance mechanic. That's May 9th through October 9th. Number 13, approve lend assistance at the 2022 Motor Fest, which is Saturday, June 11th. That's Parks and Rec. Approve lend assistance for the 2022 Hungers 5K Heroes this Saturday, May 14th. It's for Porta Johns. Number 15, award renovation of the pickleball courts at Veterans Memorial Park to Sport Tech Construction. This was money that some's coming out of the bond and some's coming out of the Parks Trust. Award the bid to concession stand at the Orangetown Baseball Complex to NOCO Catering through November 20th, 2022. Approve lend assistance to the 2022 Pearl River Fireworks in Central Avenue Field. Talking about the fireworks already. Number 18, approve lend assistance to the 2022 Spark Hill Memorial Day Parade on May 30th, 2022. 19th, approve lend assistance to the 2022 Palisades Memorial Day Parade on May 30th, 2022. Number 20, approve lend assistance to the 2022 Grand Fonda New York Race, which is this Sunday on May 15th. 21, appoint Brian Antonucci to the sludge processing equipment operator, grade 14, step 3, effective May 11th. And then we have the audit, and we just have to vote on 3 of the matters from the police commission meeting, which we were so excited about the ceremony, we forgot to vote on. So, and that will, that's it. So, let's see, can I get a motion to open the public comment?
I'll make a motion.
Paul Valentine, second.
I'll second.
Jerry Vittori, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so, again, I remind everybody, we have 3 minutes. Carol Silverstein is first.
Good evening, Carol Silverstein, Orangeburg, New York. I have just one question to ask. I'd like clarification and an actual answer on. Lester Drive in Orangeburg is an absolute disgrace and has been that way for several years. Orange and Rockland dug it up, United Water dug it up. We have a wonderful highway department, so I do not disparage them in any way. But I have been asking Jimmy Dean for a few years now when the highway department is going to resurface Lester Drive. And he has had to wait for the work to be done by Orange and Rockland and United Water, and he told me as recently as a few months ago that that work had been completed and that Lester Drive was scheduled to be repaved this spring. It's now this spring. I've called his office twice. I spoke to Stefan at the last meeting here 2 weeks ago. I can't get an answer. That road is traveled by hundreds of people. I don't even live on Lester Drive, but it is a main thoroughfare in Orangeburg, and it is an absolute disgrace. There are many roads in Orangeburg that need repaving. There is a policy here where they don't repave unless it's every 10 years. I understand and respect that, but Lester Drive is a disgrace. I am asking for a clarification and an absolute deadline as to when Lester Drive will be repaired.
Okay, thanks, Carol. Ann Putko?
I brought my own props so that I could be seen as well as heard.
There you go. You must be a Girl Scout. You're prepared.
I'm always prepared, always. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ann Putko of Piermont. I'm pleased to let you know that on the afternoon of Saturday, June 11th, over 90 members of the American Friends of Lafayette will tour our colonial heritage sites in Tappan. The group, of which I am a member, honors the memory of General Lafayette, without whom there would probably be no United States of America. When I learned that the organization was going to hold its annual meeting in June at West Point, I invited them to our area, where, as you may know, Lafayette joined General Washington and many other patriots during the war years. To my delight, the officer coordinating the visit added Tapan to the itinerary. I therefore wish to extend an invitation to the members of the board to welcome the group upon its arrival at DeWint House or later at dinner at Old 76 House. This would be a wonderful opportunity to advertise Orangetown's importance as an historical tourism site. It would also be an opportunity to meet with the heads of the organization and to perhaps lay the groundwork for future visits, especially during the all-important bicentennial celebration of Lafayette's Grand Tour of the United States, which will take place in 2024 through 2025. During the bicentennial year, the AFL, among many other groups, will retrace Lafayette's steps on his final tour of the United States. There will be many stops in New York State, including Westchester and West Point. At this time, however, none are planned for Rockland County because there is no historical evidence of his visit here during 1824 to 1825. It would be a shame for our county and for Orangetown in particular, so rich in colonial history, to be left out of the commemorative activities. It would be a missed opportunity for businesses, as well as a lost educational opportunity for school children. As such, I encourage the board to consider supporting a program of commemorative activities in Orangetown during the bicentennial year that will be complementary to those being celebrated in other communities across the Hudson River Valley. This could include a Lafayette Day with fireworks and a parade or colonial reenactment of an important event. Lastly, I wish to bring to your attention the matter of a Lafayette marker in Tapan that has seemingly disappeared. Several reliable sources indicate that a marker existed in the vicinity of Lafayette Street and Western Highway that attested to the general's stay at the Bogart Farm in 1780. The marker is not there, and no one at the library or Tapantown Historical Society seems to know what happened to it. I therefore ask you to take action to ensure that the marker is replaced optimally before our visitors arrive on June 11th. If by any...
Good, you can finish up, go ahead.
If by any chance this could be done, I suggest a short dedication ceremony in the presence of the guests. This would surely impress them and show Orangetown's commitment to preserving its history. In closing, I sincerely hope that your schedules will allow you to join us on June 11th and that you will deem it appropriate to mark the day with signs of welcome, perhaps a proclamation, and whatever else your good judgment deems appropriate. There will be 90 people coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't spill it. You need a sippy cup. Okay, Lorraine Hardigan.
Good evening. My name is Lorraine Hardigan. I live in Blauvelt, where I've resided for the past 46 years. And I just wanted to come to thank the members, the supervisor, the members of the town board, and Eric, who has worked diligently with us to put together a program that will build pickleball courts in Orangetown. And I started talking to Eric about 5 years ago, and he asked me how many people would come to play pickleball. And I really didn't know how to answer the question except to say that it was the fastest growing sport in the world at that time. I can now say that we have on our app that we use to schedule games, as of 6 o'clock tonight, 251 people who come to play pickleball in Orangetown. And those courts will be very, very much appreciated. We have people that are teenagers right up to people who are in their 80s. I played with a woman this morning in her 80s.
Who could that be?
Yes, who could that be? And I understand that, this is Mental Health Month, and during COVID, those pickleball courts were a godsend to all of us because we were able to get out, to exercise, and to socialize without the fear of close contact. So I just came tonight to thank you very much for your contribution, and I'm sure that the courts will be well used. Thank you.
Thanks,
you,
Lorraine. Okay, so that's everybody who signed up to speak. If there's someone who has not had a chance to speak and wants to speak, Barbara?
Hi, I think you know who I am. I want to begin by saying I read through a lot of the comprehensive plan, and I've been following it and going to the meetings. And at this point, I want to cry. I'm losing my community. It seems to me very much this plan would benefit tourists who want to come into the town, making bicycle thoroughfares through the town so they can go to Bear Mountain and Rockland Lake and things, rather than just have them for the townspeople. And also, New York City people want to move out of the city. So all this multifamily development, attached houses, and things like this seem much more to be a dream wish list of people who live in the city who are interested in Orangetown than the people who actually are trying to stay here. It also seems that if we did everything in the plan, it would be a lot of money. I know my husband's an engineer, and every time he starts a big project, I think, well, I guess we're not going on a vacation this summer. And in fact, on one of the things on sustainable development here, it has a sentence that reads, develop requirements for runoff from sidewalks and streets in urban areas to be directed into below-grade drainage systems practices. And I'm thinking, urban areas? What urban areas? So I just said that. So I actually wrote something about people like me so you could know how we feel, and I'll give it to you at the end of the meeting, and I'll pass it around. Land use, a lot of development, lot of multifamily, a lot of planning. People say, well, we can go to town board, planning board, and it won't be approved, but once it's in the zoning, that's not the case. And also people say there's not much land left, but the truth is, if things are rezoned, when people sell their houses, then that use can be changed. So existing properties can be changed in their usage when they're sold, if the zoning goes with it. So, those are two things that don't work. Complete streets is urban. It's just a nightmare. I looked at the environmental stuff, and to me, environmentalism is very trendy, and my husband's an environmental engineer, and so I know a lot about it. Or I don't, but I asked him, and he said that this is like an environmentalist wish list. And it would be very expensive, and some of it is good, some of it not so good. But my husband said that this plan was put in working with all the towns in the county just a few years ago, and all the towns worked together and came to regulations that actually exceeded the New York State and federal guidelines. So this was recently done. And I do get angry when sometimes plans are put in place and people's money are spent for things that actually exceed, you spend the money and the results are not there. We can't stop volcanoes, so no matter how much engineering we do. And so I just want to say, as you look at environmental program, think of people's wishes, people's needs, benefits, people's hopes, whether there will be benefits, whether the benefits will be proven.
Barbara, you're going to have to wrap.
Okay,
You can
I'll
finish.
up.
Yeah.
Expectations, the expectations will actually come to be, is that proven? The overall cost to the taxpayer, and how much the environmental changes like limiting car use, which I love my car, will actually affect people's lives, how they live their lifestyle. So thank you. And this whole plan will take me many meetings to talk about it.
Thank you.
For listening. Oh, and I'll give you that thing.
Anybody else? I know there was a couple of hands. Mr. Kleiner? Sorry, Wayne, you weren't fast enough. He beat you.
Supervisor Kenny, members of the board, Tom Kleiner, Spark Hill. I'm here again to speak about the upcoming South Orangetown School Board election, only the second time I've done so in the 30-plus years I've lived in town, the first being the special election earlier this year, when my preferred candidate, Steve Pena, won by just 6 votes. And at that time, I wanted everyone to know that Steve's opponent, Arash Musafa, had posted something on Facebook in opposition to CRT, critical race theory, which was not a program that was part of our school district. And Arash later told me that he didn't post it, and he rejected it, the post. And that's good, but it was troubling that it was there to begin with. So in this election, there are now several troubling things. I attended the school board forum, and the incumbents, Kara Stepanian and Dan LaMadrid, seemed fine. I had never met them or spoken with them before the forum. The challengers, Steve Finn and Dave Sansone, were very focused on parents' rights and their concern that not enough parents were attending school board meetings. And as one who sat in Teresa's chair for 14 years, I think we thought if not too many people came to the meeting, maybe we were doing something right. And yes, Mr. Troy, that wasn't always the case. I'm aware of that. That's an inside joke. But I did, however, speak to Dave and Steve after the forum and ask them some questions by email. First, with regard to the teaching of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. At the forum, all the candidates said they thought it was an important school district program, yet when I asked Dave why he tolerated signs that mocked DEI by renaming it divisive educational indoctrination on the same lawns that hosted his signs, he said it was free speech. And when I pressed him, he said, look, there's 14 days left and I have an election to win. And I said, there are more important things than an election. And that's when the particular conversation ended. Next, a tape of Dave at a November 23rd school board meeting contained this in Dave's words. I just don't understand this equity stuff. I don't get it. I don't know what the outcome is going to be with this. I mean, I am reading some of the books from the library. I'm just surprised at what's there. It's totally different from when I was growing up reading. So when I asked Dave what he was surprised to find in the library, did he mean to suggest certain books shouldn't be there? If so, which ones? He hasn't responded. Steve did respond in the same email. And we had a polite back and forth about Toni Morrison, which I can share with anybody who's interested to know about that. And third and last, a flyer sent in support of Dave and Steve says that, quote, after paying close attention to local and national events, they have decided to put themselves out there. What national events are we talking about? This stated effort to national, and I'll finish, to nationalize this election is simply wrong. We don't want to ban books. We don't want to make people feel they're unsafe or the other. Finally, my kids are 23 and 22. They had a great education in this school district in South Orangetown, but I'm very concerned now with the explicit and implicit suggestions made by the challengers and their supporters. So I urge Stepanian and LaMadrid for your vote. And if anyone finally wants to speak to me about anything that I've said or question me or have a further discussion, my email is my name at Gmail, THOMKLEINER, Tom Kleiner at Gmail. I appreciate again the time.
Thank you.
So I'd like to respond before we move on. First of all, we all know that this isn't a place to talk about school board elections. I wasn't going to bring it up, but since Mr. Kleiner opened the door wide, last election he called Arash, who I happen to know very well, who happens to be Iranian American, Muslim, or racist, which is amazing to me. In this election, he's questioning Dave Sansone, who is a New York City police officer who serves his country in the Coast Guard. And he's alluding to the fact that there were 2 signs as Tom drove around the entire town trying to find something to go after these guys on, to say, oh, there were 2 signs on 2 separate lawns, you should denounce that. After the thing when Dave was talking to his mother and father, Tom butt in, and then went to him about this sign. And I just think it's despicable, and it's below you, Tom. I'm very disappointed in you. I thought you had a better character than that.
Okay. Wayne?
Thank you, Madam Supervisor, members of the board, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Wayne Gavioli. As you know, I was previously town attorney for this town and also special counsel. At the last time that you had a master plan and a zoning code, I helped create that code, defended it at the trial court level and won, defended it at the appellate division and won, and defended it in the Court of Appeals and won. I look at this proposal that is being considered. It is a catastrophe.
Okay, Wayne, can I just stop you for a second and stop, we'll give you the time back. There is no proposal yet, okay? And it's been made very clear, week after week after week, ad nauseum, that was put up because we were getting pressure to put it up is like a draft that this board has not even looked at, okay? So they still had a workshop session 2 weeks ago to get information to update the plan. Now, you know you work with a planner. They have visions of grandeur. The board's going to bring it to reality. And it's a plan. Until we act on that plan, it doesn't matter what,
I
you know.
just don't want it to get out of
So,
control and get
but
too
you-
far
Are
ahead
you
of you.
volunteering to come back and help us with our plan, Wayne?
Absolutely.
Okay, I just want you to know that what's up there is
Because
not.
what it calls for is urbanization of this town,
Right.
exactly what you people voted not to do, not to do. You were all put in office on the pledge and the promise that you would not carry that out. And we're going to hold you to that. If you want my help, great. I'm still the president of the Rockland County Planning, so I have still a lot of experience in this area. I'm more than willing to come here, not get compensated for it, to help you out. But I do not want to see the urbanization of this town. And the initial draft, I grant you, it's only a draft, needs not get out of control. And that's all I'm saying. And I will be more than grateful to come back and help you. Thank you.
Thanks, Wayne. Is there anybody else who has not? And, you know, just state your name for the record when you come up. Thank you.
S.K. Bailey.
Oh, I'm
South
sorry, I didn't
Boulevard,
recognize you with your mask
South
on.
Nyack. Yeah. Hi, Jerry. Madam Supervisor and Councilman, I'm appearing tonight to briefly address 2 particular issues. I have attended either on Zoom or in person all of the CPC meetings, and I am simply appalled. Apparently, someone thought it was a great idea to have the future of Orangetown determined by a survey conducted among a tiny number of heavy users of Facebook. This is an extremely small and hardly representative sample. Beyond this basic premise, the CPC survey seems to be being conducted by a group of so-called consultants who appear to be incapable of presenting a simple PowerPoint presentation competently. Indeed, after one of the meetings, I spoke with others who had attended, and they were of the opinion that this must have been conducted by a group of college interns working for the actual consultants. Some of their presentations have bordered on infantile. Stick a green sticker in the box if you're in favor, the sort of thing you might see in a second-grade classroom. Beyond the level of ineptness in their interactions, though, their framework is designed to create a system wherein they alone are the arbiters and interpreters of what this non-representative sample believes. I personally witnessed a sticker episode where the woman running the process interpreted 14 negative stickers in a particular box versus 2 positive stickers as people being overwhelmingly in favor of that particular question. This process really needs to be examined and addressed. The second issue I wish to address in a very brief and preliminary manner, about which you're going to hear more from me and others later on in the future, is the synchronization of the local law of Orangetown with that of the former village of South Nyack. I know that on the agenda tonight you intended to begin the synchronization of the zoning codes, and I would strongly recommend that you undertake such an endeavor with regard to local law. The primary subject of concern which I have in this area is the subject of legislation concerning trees on private property. Unfortunately, people of the mountainside areas of South Nyack suffered under a patently illegal law protecting invasive trees on private property. It came about as a result of misguided intent to prevent a non-existent threat of clear cutting of all trees. The end result was an environmental disaster with the protected invasive trees displacing the native trees. And further, this regulation subjected homeowners to increased maintenance expenses by a magnitude of 4 to 5 times what they would have been absent such regulation. This was dilettante environmentalism of the sort that we expect from the residents of the Upper West Side of Manhattan. To be clear, we're all in favor of actual environmentalism, but activities undertaken in response to imaginary threats and justified by specious pseudoscience claims are really not acceptable. In South Nyack, this preservation of invasive trees was actually justified by the claim that a tree promoted emotional well-being. Imagine if this were actually true, rather than devoting time and expense to treating someone suffering these mental problems, we could cure them simply by sending them to Lowe's for a potted apple tree in a bucket. I hope, and I urge you to immediately begin work on synchronizing Orangetown local law, which has worked so well for so many years, with that of the former village of South Nyack. I thank you for your time. I'm sorry I ran
Thank
over.
you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who has not had a chance to speak that would like to speak? Okay, no? Going once? Going twice? Can I get a motion to close? Jerry Batari, motion to close, second?
I'll second.
Brian Donahue, second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Item number 3. What's that? I guess we can. We can do, no, we'll do them first. So we have 3 items from the Police Commission meeting that we have to approve. We could combine 2, 3, and 4. Appoint Anthony Verdecchio to police officer, probationary permanent. Appoint Patrick Kennedy to police officer, probationary permanent, and appoint Max Park, police officer, probationary permanent. Can I get a motion? Do I have to motion to combine them first or something?
Yeah, I'll make a motion on all 3. Is that we do that?
Yeah, okay. Brian made a motion, second.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. Hope you're happy, Mr. Town Attorney. Okay. As long as the lawyer's happy, everybody's happy. Okay. The first item is to recognize Steve Silverberg as the member of the Rockland County Planning Board, representing the town of Orangetown for a 4-year term, effective April 20th, 2022. Motion? Jerry Batari moves, second.
I'll second.
Brian Donahue, all in favor? Aye. Accept the fund overage for the NYSERDA Research and Development $5,000 grant, which we got pursuant to the Clean Energy Community for our recyclables in Pearl River. Motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You look confused. You
Well,
were-
he was looking, I thought he was going to say something.
I was like, what? Okay, number 5, authorizing the redemption prior to maturity of the $605,000 outstanding bonds of the Village of South Nyack, appropriating said amount therefore, and making other determinations relative thereto. Motion?
I make a motion.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Lot of pages, lot of pages. Okay. Number 6, authorize Lothric Associates to prepare the demolition plans for the existing town hall. Motion?
I'll make a motion, Therese.
Brian Donahue, second.
Second.
Jerry Batari, all in favor?
Aye.
Grant a covenant to hold harmless indemnification agreement to the Hollister B. Keene and Juliet Donatelli, the owners of property at 23 William Street in Spark Hill. Motion?
Yep.
Jerry Batari, second.
second.
Paul Valentine, all in favor?
Aye.
Accept the performance bond for the Sandstone subdivision at 43 Kings Highway in Spark Hill. Motion?
I'll make a motion.
Paul Valentine, second.
I'll second that,
Brian
Therese.
Donahue, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, approval of 2022 certificate of sewer registrations.
Move.
Jerry Batari, second.
Second.
Brian Donahue, all in favor?
Aye.
Approve and assistance to the Field of Honor. Can we combine some of these, Rob?
Yeah, if you want to do a motion to combine 10 through
10 through,
16. Oh, no, 10 through 15.
10 through 15. Right?
12 is about flexible work.
Oh, we screwed up. Okay, never mind. Let's just do it. Approve lend assistance to the Field of Honor for the Volunteer Fire Association. This is for the Highway Department on May 14th. Motion?
I'll make a motion, Teresa.
Brian Donahue, second.
Second.
Paul Valentine, all in favor?
Aye.
Approve lend assistance to the Volunteer Fire Association Japan Recruit New York event, which is already passed.
Move.
Jerry Batari,
I'll
second.
second.
Brian Donahue, all in favor?
Aye.
Number 12, approve the flexible work week for the building maintenance mechanic from May 9th to October 9th, 2022. Motion?
I'll make a motion.
Brian Donahue, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Approve lend assistance to the 2022 Motor Fest for Saturday, June 11th. Motion?
Move.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You're like a well-oiled machine. Approve lend assistance to the 2022 Hungers 5K Heroes for Saturday, May 14th.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, award the bid to the renovation of the pickleball courts at Veterans Memorial Park to Sport Tech Construction.
I think you should move that.
I'll make that motion. I'll move it. Second.
I'll second.
Right, all in favor?
Aye.
Award the bid to the concession stand to the Orangetown Baseball Complex to Noco Catering.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now you can combine 17 to 20.
Okay, so 17, 18, 19, 20. Make a motion to combine items number 17 through number 20.
Move.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now do you have to vote on it? You think- Okay, okay. Approve items number 17 to number 20. Motion?
Move.
Jerry, second.
I'll second.
Brian, Donnie, all in favor?
Aye.
Seems more trouble than it's worth. Okay. Number 21, appoint Brian Antonucci, the sludge processing equipment operator, 1, grade 14, step 3, effective May 11th. Motion?
I'll make a motion, Teresa.
Brian Donahue, second.
Yep.
Jerry Batari, all in favor?
Aye. Thank you, Jeff.
On the audit.
Okay, tonight's audit consists of 4 warrants for a total of $2.1 million. The first warrant had 29 vouchers for $23,000. The second warrant had 1 voucher for $5,300 for unemployment insurance. The third warrant had 6 vouchers for $1.8 million. Items of interest, number 4 and 5, the applied golf contracts. Number 6, Arthur Gallagher, $1.4 million for insurance renewals. Number 8, Ferraro Construction, $172,000 for the Route 303 culvert project as part of a Climate Smart grant. Number 12, CSCA Employee Benefit Fund, $31,000 for dental insurance. Number 13, Global Mantello, $27,000 for fuel. And number 18, the State Comptroller, $32,000 for justice fines. Any questions on the audit?
It's just not the same with Tom not being here, I'm sorry. He guesses what you're going to say.
He got 0 out of 13 this time.
Okay, so can I get a motion on the audit, to accept the audit?
Second.
Where the hell am I here? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we are going to, into executive session to discuss proposed pending or current litigation, yes, and the proposed acquisition, sale, lease of real property when publicity might affect value. Motion on executive session?
I'll make a motion.
Uh,
I'll second.
Whichever, one moved and one didn't. We're not going to be voting on anything, and we're not coming back out to vote on anything, correct? A vote to adjourn. Can you do that before you come out? Are you supposed to technically come out and adjourn?
Disappointed in my water bottle.
I was going to